now spirit goes in the middle of its beautiful creation and, you know, power on what to do next week, which we're gonna see right now what next week is bringing. Because, you know, that was just the beginning. So now spirit's gonna keep repeating what it knows how to do. So we're gonna go one more round. So, you know, Monday morning, wake up, go to what's newly created the last time, which was somewhere around this last surface, and then create a sphere. So it does, you know, this time we're going a bit faster because I'm sure you got the process by now. We go, we create our sphere, we go create our sphere, bam, 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 and we have one more round right here. And so that completes the second vortex motion. And now if you, so now like take a step back and try to look at this in its 3D, it's really a 3D view, which this is gonna help when that looks like that, really. So la, you can, it's, to me, it's harder to see those, oh, sorry, with not my finger, but those ones are pretty easy to see, like those 3 ones. See, that's those 3 ones here. So now you have had the second round and you have what's called your 8 original cells. And if I didn't know that, so I'm gonna share this information. We know that we have our cells that change every 7 years, right? Every 7 years, we get a whole new, brand new set of cells. Well, it slowly goes, so it's not like boom and one shot, but you get me, every slowly we get new cells. And after 7 years, it's brand new compared to the time before, right? Well, we have those 8 cells that came out of the egg division, division when the ovule and the spermatozoid met, which, by the way, I have to tell you that too, because it's so fascinating. Turns out we've been taught that, you know, it's the one sperm that is the fastest, that's gonna get to the ovule first, that's gonna be the king and make it. And it's absolutely false. So first of all, like the size of the ovule is like you need the head of the spermatozoid to have a specific size that's matching, that's a key compared to the size of the ovule. So first, the ovule is not gonna let any sperms in, it's just gonna let in the sperm that has no right key. And then it's not even just one sperm, which I find so beautiful. It's actually a line of 13 sperms doing a line next to each other so that the middle sperm can find his way into the ovule. I mean, doesn't it change like everything? It's like, wow, like we're being so supported even from the very beginning. And it's a collaborative effort, not, how do you call it? Like when people are, I can't even think of the word. Not fighting, but I mean, you know, the whole basis of the United States.
It's competitive.
Competitive, thank you. Yeah, and see, actually, ever since, to me, that really changed everything because we're so taught to be competitive and, you know, the best guy win. And from, you know, we've been ingrained that ever since we took biology class, teaching us BS. So anyways, to come back, so when that happened and, you know, the 13 sperms get one in, and then the cells start dividing, right? And so it only divides 3 times until you have 8 cells, which are those 8 original cells. And those 8 original cells don't change. You still have them since you were born. And I didn't know that. I didn't know I had still my 8 cells from when I was, you know, conceived. And they're like right at the center of your being. So like between, right at your root chakra, like under your legs, in between the anus and whatever's in front if you're a girl or a boy. So, and apparently, I wish I had known that before or when I gave birth, because apparently if you look at a child, you can see that pulsating, like on top of the head and in between their legs, you can see the pulse, which is the pulse of the energy tube that's going through your body. And apparently when they're really young, you can still see the pulsing because they still remember to breathe through that instead of breathing through our nose. So anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked here, but those are the 8 original cells. And another fun fact is that we'll see that in our class about the spiral, but you have like feminine spiral and masculine spiral. And both men and women have different kind of spirals, and our spiral for women is actually going right through the center point of our being, which crosses those 8 cells, which is why we can make babies and men can't, because we have the energy, like the creative and the 0 point energy. So really the universal energy is going right through our creative space. I thought that was pretty cool too. So now that we know everything there is to know about those 8 cells, we can go one more round around the flower of life. And that's where we started with our 8 cells. And so spirit goes again. And at this point, it's becoming a bit hard to picture on a 3D plane, right? Because we have those little balls, and so spirit keeps going around. But so I showed here like all the different centers where you're gonna get those new spheres that are coming out. And so that does that. And now we're getting real close to the flower of life, right? But that's where, yeah, so now if I put a circle around, and you start to see, okay, it's not completely done, but it's getting there, right? But so let's step back for a sec. And if you look at all the flower of lives, except the one I have behind me, that have been carved in the world, you have, on the edge, it stops, right? You have those, it looks like straight lines, like right here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And so it looks like the pattern is stopping. But that was really, because when that word that came out like 6,000 years ago, the world wasn't ready for Christ consciousness, right? So people that had that knowledge and that knew how to go to Christ consciousness and how to change dimensions and all that fun stuff we're talking about here, they didn't want to let it into, anybody's hand. And we'll keep on seeing that with like Da Vinci's work, and there are lots of things that are hidden. But once you know what they know, you can see how it was hidden and how to get back to it. So anyways, those ancient wisdom holders hide what was going on with this flower of life by stopping the pattern here and making it look like it was an M. But if you were to finish those circles, so now we're gonna go back to where we were. So that's about the status of where we were with all the circles. And so here I'm completing the circles. See how here we have those lines that were stopped. Oops, oh, well, I guess that's better like that. You have a better view. But so you had the lines here, right? And so if we complete those circles, that's the yellow circles, then we start to have another pattern emerging, right? And it kind of looks like it's missing something here and here and here and here and here, which really is what? That's what's been newly created. That's the intersection between what's been newly created and what existed before. So if we go one more round again, then spirit would actually make those circles here. And so that's the red circles that just appeared. Right, you see how this completes, so that then now we have all the circles completely surrounded by those circles. And so that's what the trick was. You had to finish the pattern with those yellow circles. And then you had to know how spirit creates, and so that it would add those other red circles. And then once you've done that, and you remove part of the circle, oops, you get this pattern, which is the fruit of life. That's what's called the fruit of life. And we're gonna see that's the one pattern within the flower of life, right? That's the basics for pretty much everything. And we're gonna start seeing it's the basics of all the blocks that shape the universe, at least for now.